good day, welcome, goodbye. Wait, what? I said goodbye.
You missed the bit in the middle.
Hey, welcome to the thing where Beth and Jazz draw stuff. We got a theme tune now. That was it. You're welcome. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Jazz.
How you doing?
I'm good.
We're in the same room, Beth.
We are. Brought to you by one microphone today.
Wow.
Hope this doesn't sound weird.
I'm sure it's great. We did test it before. It's fine.
It's fine.
How you doing? Good that you joined us today. This is great.
Christ.
What are we doing?
We are doing another what I've sort of called Marvel D&D crossover
Dungeons
time.
and Dragons time with the crossing over. It's a good time.
So we started this not long ago with the WandaVision one, just after the WandaVision series ended on Disney Plus. We were big fans of that.
It was great.
And now Falcon Winter Soldier is just finished.
And it was so good.
And it was so good. So obviously we had to do the same again.
We're here. We're topical. We're jumping in. And I think this is coming out 2 weeks after the episode, so that was enough time for you to watch it. Get on the bandwagon.
Yeah. There will technically be spoilers because
probably, yes.
We talk about the final costumes in
this. So go and watch it and then come back.
Starting off with Falcon. Or we've been referring to him as Sam Wilson.
Because he's Captain America.
Because he's Captain America now, but if we call him Captain America, then there's other options.
So we're going to call him Sam Wilson, but also Falcon, the American Captain. No, I'm just going to call him Sam. Sam likes green eggs. Sam likes green eggs.
It's such a Dr. Seuss reference.
Yes, it is. He does.
Christ.
I don't know if he likes. Anyway, Sam is very fun. I've really enjoyed getting to like his character more.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of Bucky. Like their
love their
relationship is gorgeous.
It's so
I love
good.
it. It's so funny.
I really like what they did in this. And in WandaVision, right? Like, they were both characters that you don't see that much of. They were side characters.
So you get to really see the character properly. And
they were really cool.
It was great. They did a good job.
So we talked about what he would be for a little while.
Yeah.
And we immediately went with Ranger.
Yeah, because of that animal thing.
Because comic book Falcon
has a falcon.
He has a falcon. Although you looked and you couldn't find if it was actually a falcon or not.
Yeah, I looked, and so obviously it's called Red Wing. We know that because of like the movies and stuff, but in the movies it's a little robot guy. In the comics it's a real bird, but I couldn't find anywhere, not even on the wiki, to say what it was. It was just like, yes, he has a bird called Red Wing.
It's a kind of hawk-shaped thing, so it's got like the bigger beak. And it's got a big bird, but I just
went for falcon. I drew a falcon because they look really cool and it makes sense. Like, if they didn't go for falcon, what are you doing, Marvel? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, whoever wrote Stanley? Come on, Stanley. I love you. Don't. Anyway, yeah, the costume was really fun to do because his final costume was like really kind of, techie. It's from
techie.
Wakanda, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's really techie. It's really like not D&D. It's proper
very
like
metal armor,
sci-fi type thing. So I kind of like simplified it. And tried to bring some D&D colours back in. So instead of it being all like white and silver, I was like, I'll bring some brown leathers back into it. But I found the shield to be really fun because it's basically the shield that he has, the Captain America shield. But I found this really cool design for a D&D shield where it's got the little
an actual magical item.
An actual magical item,
put that up here.
Ping! It's on the screen. But I was like, I love that shape. But you can still put the Captain America like stamp on it if you want.
It's kind of sideways on here, but you'll be able to see the actual thing. It's kind of got like wings as well.
Yeah,
so we were like,
it looks like birdie bat type wings. So
it's pretty neat.
And the other magical item would be his what looks like a cloak in this drawing. It's the one that can turn into bird wings.
Yeah, it can. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a cloak of flight. It's either bat or bird
the
wings.
Cloak of flight. Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, you can turn it into bat or bird, and we were like, that works. It's a bird one.
Yeah.
And obviously it's like sort of almost a metallic-y yellow color a metallic-y red color because that's the color of Falcon's wings. And then he's just got like a little mask thing on.
Because he flies, you don't want,
bugs
in your eyes.
Come on, guys. And then obviously a little star on the chest because he's Captain America, you know.
I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I really like the use of, because when we were talking about his design in the end, like his final costume, he's got, I kind of feels like he has one too many gadgets.
He's got
like
a lot
he
of
must
stuff,
be weighty, right? Like he's got the shield, he's got the wings, he's got Red Wing.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of stuff going on in his design, so it's kind of hard to...
We were worried that they were going to take his wings away.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, he needs the wings, they're his thing.
But then turns out wings and shield, there's quite a lot going on.
But like, if he can handle it, it's
then
fine.
Go nuts.
Yeah,
I mean,
go for it.
The combination when he's fighting is pretty cool.
It's really cool, yeah.
But I like that you've managed to find alternate magical items for it, because it's...
Yeah, it was really fun.
His design is so tech heavy that it would be really hard
not to bring...
to make him, but without that.
I mean, like you've said before in other episodes, we kind of transition tech from the real world into magic in D&D, and so that's kind of what's happened here. We've taken the tech and found like a cool magical item. Yeah.
So obviously Ranger, and he would have gone with the animal companion route. And that would have been probably his like starting class, right?
Yeah.
And then like throughout this series, it's basically him multi-classing.
Yeah, like it's literally watching him become a multi-class, and into a fighter, because obviously we see a lot of him training and getting, I mean, he was already buff, but somehow he manages to get even more buff, and he gets more dexterous with the shield.
Backflip.
Like, that's mad, and I love the training montages. But yeah, that's like you say, just him becoming multi-class into fighter, and also having a little dig into like the comic book side of things. He is very well learned in all the different like combats and stuff. He's very good with that.
He was a soldier to begin with, and then he joined this specific program in the Air Force, and then
so it all makes sense.
We all come in, it all joins
full
back
circle.
Up again.
Yeah.
But like his design aside, kind of if you haven't seen this series, I would really recommend it.
Please watch it. It's so good.
Because Marvel did a thing in this series where they did not hold back.
Yeah, they really hit it on the nose.
And like, I don't really know when they wrote this or when this was made, but it feels really topical really relevant now. They made a lot of points about race and about like what it means for a black man to be Captain America and hold the shield. And so if you're here at this point, we've warned you, right? There's the bit where he's like, you know, me and my people have bled for this country, so don't tell me I can't fight for it. And I was like, hell yeah! Yeah, he makes some good speeches.
Really good,
in this.
It's brilliant.
So his stats are kind of actually a little on the lower side. Yeah,
because like it's really hard to do this because we're doing superheroes and they're all like 20 and everything. But Sam Wilson is just a human guy. He is just, so I had to reel back a little bit.
Compared to like who we're doing before, like Wanda and Vision, and like who we might do in the future, like Thor is literally a god.
Yeah, like we literally just have to like give him like 100.
You know, so if we're keeping to the sort of we're keeping in the 20s, like I know it can go up to 30 with like buffs and items and stuff, but we've been keeping it under 20 because that's kind of how we play.
Yeah.
Just because, like, compared to them, we have to keep the stats a little lower.
Yeah.
So his dex is super high. Because his dex has to be super high.
He's really good at combat and all of that, using the wings and the shields and the backflips.
You know.
So he's like 10 out of 10 on that.
But great. We had to, like, even though he's super strong, he's still a human, so we had to reel that back a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, again, I think his charisma probably could be higher.
Yeah, he's quite charismatic. He's very good at talking and persuading people.
Does a good speech.
But again, like, you know, there are parts in the movie where he talks to someone but he doesn't quite get his way. Like at the bank,
you know? Stuff,
so
yeah.
It does make sense that there might be certain places where his charisma doesn't quite hit as high as he wants it to. And he's, you know, his constitution is 16 because he's a human. You know, he can get drunk, he can get poisoned, all that kind of thing.
He can take a punch, but, you know, like, there's only to such degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because of his ranger class, he would have to be wearing leather armor, so his like constitution and his HP would be lower.
Yeah,
if we're talking like literal stats.
Yeah.
But there's our bird boy.
There he is.
I think he's pretty neat. I think he did a real good job.
Thanks. It's a very simple drawing. But I was more focusing on like the design and stuff than making it look perfect.
I think the magical items are pretty neat here.
It's very
but you
fun,
found good matches.
Yeah.
Because on mine, I did try, but I could not find a match.
Let's hear about yours, Beth.
So part 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier
is the Ice Boy.
Is the Ice Cold Boy. Is Bucky Barnes.
Bucky. He's got a really weird middle name.
James Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Barnes.
James Buchanan Bucky the Barnes boy.
I did write Bucky Barnes on the overlay, but we do know his real name. No one yelled at me for that.
Yeah. They're gonna be, actually, it's Nigel. What? Where are you getting your information? From? Anyway.
So he was kind of similarly to Wanda, weirdly enough. He was easy because he is an assassin.
Yeah, and he can fit into that whole D&D
costume
thing.
In the comic books, in the series, you could just
plop him in.
It's just a leather jacket and combat pants, right? Like you could just now it's leather armor. That's it.
You were trying to look for a item that would sort of explain his arm, but you were having a bit of trouble, weren't you?
Yeah, I was looking at. I mean, I probably could have found something if I went really
digging.
And really into the homebrew stuff.
Oh yeah.
But there was gauntlets that had like gauntlets of strength of the ogre or something like that, which were just sort of like metal gloves. And then I found a couple of like braces that might have worked. Yeah. But nothing that really was like.
Perhaps it could be like the arm stores a certain amount of spell slots, so it's maybe. One to do with strength and one to do with like resistance and stuff like that.
I'm not really sure what it's meant to do either, because it's like super strong.
It's
but
a very
also,
strong arm.
Like
it just fell off. It can fall off his body. Like I don't know.
So I did try, but you know. So he is an rogue assassin. Obviously, I think that makes sense. And I think that would be where he would have started as a rogue assassin. Like even when he was, we recently rewatched Captain America, the first one. I mean, he was a soldier as well. Yeah. But there's only so many ways you can multi-class, and I've done him somewhere else. So a rogue assassin. That's kind of where he was. I mean, he was a sniper. Anyway, that was his thing. Yeah. So that kind of makes a bit more sense. So it does
make sense, yeah. He's sneaky. Yeah.
But I multi-classed him as a monk.
Oh.
The Way of the Shadow.
Oh, I like it. That's good. Yeah.
Because he fights barehanded most of the time.
Yeah.
And like a lot of his like story arc has been about him gaining control of his own mind again.
Yeah, the stillness of mind.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
That makes so much sense.
I'll have to look again, but the Way of the Shadow is about like it's like being stealthy, being able to like hide in plain sight,
using
and, like,
that stillness and everything to just go into the shadows. He's a shadow boy.
So that's kind of like I feel like he would have multi-classed into the monk. Like I think he learned a lot from the Wakandans about like that would be his moment. He goes to Wakanda and that's when he starts to learn. Multi-class,
that
like step
sense.
away from the assassin bit.
Yeah, because I don't know, like I feel like you know is it Dora Milaje?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. they feel quite monkey to me in some sense, right? They've got this sort of glaive type thing.
Very
and it's very combat heavy.
But they're
really controlled.
Really disciplined.
So that would make sense if they were monks, some of them, and you learnt it from them.
I think they're like fighters, but in a very monk way. It's very like...
Maybe they are a multi-class of those two.
Very straightforward, very clear mind.
We're trying to think of a word and we're like touching our heads like, what is that word? You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Man, there is a peak scene in this series.
So good. I could watch that over and over.
They appear and just fucking beat up a lot of dudes.
It's very satisfying.
If you
very buff, determined ladies just kicking the shit out of some white guys, you know.
It's and a white guy that's really annoying
as
well.
Mm-hmm. So if you've seen it, you know who we're talking about.
It's so satisfying.
It is very satisfying. Yeah.
But his the design itself, you know, he is as he is. I tried to tone down the colours a bit so they were a bit more like leather armour. I put his mask back on even though he doesn't wear it in this series. It
looks good. I like it.
Just gives it an extra little detail.
Yeah. It feels edgy. I like it.
In both the comic and in the series, he tends to have a leather jacket with like a popped collar, like a straight collar. But that felt a little bit modern. Yeah. So I gave him the idea I was kind of going with is that like the scarfy thing is like a part of the face covering, but then I coloured them different colours because I was paying attention.
I mean, in D&D, you just have random rags
layers
and things,
stuff.
Right? It's fine.
But he kind of is as he is, really, with his combat boots and his.
I really love the baggy pants. I feel like they look. Really good.
Like drawing baggy pants. Something very satisfying about it. Yeah. It's also really. I find it really hard to draw legs. Yeah. Because the curve is so subtle.
So weird.
And if you don't get the bit with the knee right, it just looks wrong.
But if you have baggy pants, no one knows what's under there. So it's great. Hot tip for drawing: draw baggy pants.
But then you've got the issue of like folding fabric.
Oh no! What have we done?
So it's always going to be an issue. Don't look too closely at his hands here. I poorly sketched them, and then it goes to the inking process. I was like, I've not fixed them yet.
Piss.
But I can't be bothered, so we're just gonna plow through.
It's great. It's fine. Look, it's not so much on the technical, beautiful side of art here. It's more about the concept of crossing over these things.
Also, generally, I'm quite proud that I drew a dude.
You did.
If any of you look at my Instagram, you'll know I never draw dudes.
It's all ladies. Yeah.
There's something far more fun about drawing, like the curvy shapes.
Yeah, curvy, wiggly, fun stuff. That's what a lady is, apparently.
We were talking just before we started recording this that this final outcome kind of looks like if Matt and Phil had a child.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
all I can say on that matter.
Or like maybe Malark and Paddy's.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But yeah. I had a look at, he has a bunch of different, I didn't realise he's got a bunch of different prototypes or versions of his arm.
Oh, really?
Because he's got, like, the one that they gave him.
Yeah.
And then, he gets, like, a couple of different variations to the one that he's got now, which is, like, super shiny black with the gold in it, very Wakandan coloured. So that's the one that I drew him in, and it was really, really shiny, so I was like,
You did a good job of making it look like metal. I don't know if that translates super well to D&D, but like again, I didn't know what D&D
to put.
Metal. It's
like
fine.
what would I put in that place otherwise, other than like a big glove,
or like a wooden arm?
Like that wouldn't.
It just wouldn't work, would it? No, it looks good like that. What about his stats?
So let me get that up.
I'm gonna get a lot of people being like, you're wrong, but like. He's some kind of superhuman-y type thing. They put something in him.
Yeah.
Right? He's not just a human. I'm sure there's something.
He's kind of wasn't he like a tester of the super soldier serum? He didn't get it as buff as Cab, but
they did something to him, right? He's a little bit more something.
Yeah, so
he's gonna get a bunch of people like, no, it's not. That's not the case at all.
We're
sorry.
So his strength and his dex are at 20.
Yeah.
His strength, I think, is at... I probably would say, like, his human strength would be, say, be at 19.
Yeah.
But, like, the arm gives him a +1 or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, with one hand, it's definitely a 20. With the other arm, maybe it's like a 17,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We're all like that. Everyone's got wonky arms. And then his dex, true. Again, he's like...
he's an assassin, so he needs to be dexy.
I was thinking high dex because, like, if you're playing the game, then you, like, for stealth rolls and stuff, you need high dex.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it kind of goes down. Right? His con is quite high again because he's kind of super soldier.
Yeah.
So he can take a hit a little harder than the rest of them. Also, like, it's so ingrained in his training, right, to get back up.
Yeah.
His intelligence or wisdom...
They're, like, fairly okay, but
I think he doesn't...
He's still a bit of a baby.
He's, like...
Not in a bad way, but he's very young.
A lot about a really specific kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then not so much about how the real world is.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love that you've given him 15 for charisma, because he's not very charismatic.
No, I honestly would have made it lower, because... But there are instances where he can be charismatic if he wants to be.
Yeah, he can use it if he wants
like,
to.
Like, around Sam and when he's, like, flirting with his sister.
Yeah.
Like, he can be charismatic when he wants to be.
Yeah.
But there's parts
There are other times when you're like you don't know how to talk to a human, do you, Bucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
So, like, it's medium high. It could have been lower, but I think there are moments where he does know what he's saying. He just doesn't want to talk a lot of the time.
Yeah, he can't be bothered to put the effort in. He's a bit of a moody teenager sometimes, you know. A little bit like Malark, actually.
A little bit like Malark. Yeah.
Weird,
like
that.
a grown-up Malark.
Yeah. Grown up, but not quite grown up. Still a little bit of a boy. A baby. Yeah.
So that's our boys.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed
boys.
Chatting about that. It was really
fun.
good. Go watch that show.
We're not.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Man, we're not sponsored, but man.
No, we're not. But it's
Is
great.
anyone sponsored by Disney? They don't need it.
They don't need
they?
it. They're doing.
We're giving them free promo anyway. But it was a real good series.
It was. I'm really looking forward to the Loki one.
Oh, is that next?
I'm really looking forward to doing a drawing for that. I don't know who the other person will be, but I'm sure there's got to be another character in there that, you know. Yeah.
But thanks for joining us again.
Yeah.
On this
thing
where
we draw. Woo!
It's a chill time. We ramble a lot.
And sometimes we scream, but not often.
Occasionally. You never know when it's gonna come though.
Yeah. It's like a storm. Anyway, thanks, guys.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, take care and don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Oh,
Go watch that show. Go. Goodbye.
Bye.
I don't know where that came from.